welcome to the hypothetical edition of Coming Down. My name is Nathan. I am here with Shelby.
Hello.
And Matthew.
Hey!
And Ricky.
Hi there.
We got the crew assembled.
News team assemble!
Yes. So let's just get into it. I am really looking forward to this one because we already were kind of talking about some of this stuff. So here we go. Your goal is to anger an entire fandom. What do you do?
Oh, man.
There are so many ways.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I gotta pick one, you know?
Well, so yeah, can I pick one and then decide how I'm going to anger that? Or is
Sure.
it just like, in general, the best way to, like, you don't get to pick, like, the best way to anger a fandom?
Get specific. Like,
Okay.
I'm going to piss off Star Wars fans or Spider-Man fans or whatever. I think... God, I don't know. I've been thinking about this one for a minute, and there are a lot of ways to go.
Seriously, because, I mean, like, every fandom has its Achilles heel, and some fandoms are weaker than others, but, like...
Right. And a lot of fandoms are comprised of the hardcore fans being kind of the shittiest of the bunch.
Well, right.
You know? So, like, you have all the Spider-Man fans who didn't want a black Spider-Man, and you have all the...
Right.
You know...
All the people with prop quality stormtrooper costumes who went to whatever the new Star Wars park is at Disneyland and were pretending to be Disney employees, telling children that, like, all this stuff from the new movies isn't right. You know?
Whoa, that happened?
Yeah, so you can't wear real Star Wars costumes in the park anymore because these assholes ruined it for everyone.
Wow, we fucked that up in, like, less than 2 months.
Yeah, record fucking time.
Yeah, just way to fuck that.
There's
right
ladies
Fucking
in this one, so it's not real.
Yeah.
Oh, and it was shit like that.
Oh, I know.
You know, like,
Yeah.
because as we've mentioned, like, the biggest fans are always the fucking worst, you know? Like,
Right. I mean...
not all of them, but I mean, like, from the, like, deep end comes the fucking worst vitriol, you know?
Right, yeah, I mean, as we saw with, like, the Rick and Morty fans, like, losing their minds over the Szechuan sauce and stuff. Like,
Right.
It's embarrassing sometimes to be,
So
like,
much.
part of that.
Yeah, it's
or
like...
to, like, enjoy it even. You're just like, damn, dude, do I associate with these people now?
Right? It's like, oh, cool, you didn't even get the joke, but you're somehow rabidly a fan of this fucking thing, you know? Like,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Yeah, for real. So, I think I'll start with a possible one while you guys think about it, because I get the privilege of thinking about this stuff a little bit more.
And since I can't see it, we're definitely recording, right?
Oh, definitely.
Aces.
Yeah. Yeah. Woo! Got that
Step
one right.
one,
Yeah.
complete.
You know, I like to make sure.
You're in. That's been like the running joke of this week. It's like, we're just figuring out new stuff. Like, insider information, we just figured out a new way to, like, schedule our calendar. We're just like, oh yeah, we're only a year in and, like, finally got fucking, like, fixing our calendar and figuring out how to schedule shit, like, figured out. Like,
Shit that would have been obvious
Yeah.
from day one if we just would have thought about it.
yeah, that didn't take long at all.
No, it's fine.
So, and, look, it's not a spoiler, because if you're on the internet at all, like, everyone's fucking seen it. But there's this fucking Baby Yoda thing running around.
Yeah, buddy.
And so, like, if you want to anger an entire fandom, it's just kill Baby Yoda in episode 3, dude.
Holy
Man,
shit.
that is accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Baby
Everyone
Yoda.
is on board. Everyone is so on board.
Like, it's this whole thing. It's
Everyone
like,
would die for Baby Yoda.
yeah, it's people who are, like, peripherally Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
Are like, man, I'm in on this shit because fucking Baby Yoda, man.
Yep.
We've only had him for 2 episodes.
Yep.
And we would already kill for him.
Yeah. Honestly, even, like, one episode, because he shows up at the very end of the first episode.
Yeah.
You get a whole episode of Baby Yoda in episode 2, and if the Mandalorian just, like, shoots it in the head, episode 3, and just like, fuck!
It's really gonna fuck with continuity if they do that, but, you know, wouldn't put it past them.
The other move, too, is to do this entire season with Baby Yoda. It's rad because, you know, everyone's been like pushing up their glasses and being like, well, you know, the Mandalorian takes place after Return of the Jedi, so it's not Yoda, and like, you know, all this stuff. But but you know, we don't have anything better to call it, so we call it Baby Yoda.
Right.
But just at the end of this season, just reveal that it is Yoda, and just don't care. Just don't care at all that it doesn't fit into the timeline at all. Just fucking lean into it hard and be like, yeah, dude, it's Yoda.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine. It doesn't matter.
Time doesn't matter to Yoda.
Right?
Yeah, and just don't explain it at all. Don't worry about it at all. Just be like, yeah, no, it's been Yoda the whole time. And just like watch those people push up their glasses and then rip them off of their face and be like, but the continuity and then
How could he be a Force ghost and then...
yeah. So immediately I just see all the ways to just fuck with people on this shit, because people are loving the Mandalorian and loving Baby Yoda, and you could just really just anger everyone so hard.
It's pretty great. It's pretty great. I was ruminating on ways to fuck up Star Wars, and like
I feel like we're all gonna fuck up
you
Star
really
Wars.
got it.
There's so many ways.
Well, like
I also feel like their fan base is particularly fuckwithable.
Yes.
Oh, they're so
Because
fragile.
they care
Yeah.
so hard and they're so fragile. They're such innocents. My answer immediately was I would recast a remake of the original series, but every character would be a lady except for Chewbacca, who has titties.
Yeah, dude, big furry titties.
Everything's the same
So-
about the costume, except it's like sexy Chewbacca.
But
Except
it
you wouldn't piss off all the fandom, because I'm here for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
I'm here for sexy
and then
Chewbacca. I'm in.
Princess Leia's character is the only dude, and he's like really dumb and bad at his job. He's like really stupid, and all the other ladies have to rescue him.
Oh my god!
And like, you know,
I want to tweet this right now.
he
like,
makes out with his sister, and everyone's like, "You're fucking weird, dude." That kind of shit.
it's for luck.
Yeah, like he puts the moves on his sister, and everyone knows it's his sister, including him, and everyone's like, "What are you doing? We should have just left you on Hoth."
Yeah.
Like, and
Oh my god. Well, and it makes it so much better that like his mom fucking kidnaps him like in the first movie and like
yeah.
holds him prisoner on the Death Star and like just for his own
Yeah,
good.
just
you
for
know?
his own good. Just like my idiot child,
Yeah.
I need to put him on the Death Star because Darth
Right.
Vader is, of course, also a lady.
Exactly.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Every stormtrooper, lady. Literally every character in this universe
Yeah.
is now a lady.
I'm here for
except
this.
for the canonical women who are now men, which means there's 5 of them total.
Yep.
See, and technically, these fucking like basement dwelling dudes should love the idea
Well,
of
right.
like cloning a bunch of women. You're just flooding
Yeah.
you're just flooding a ton of women into the market, you
Yeah,
know?
but none of them are interested in you.
Right. That's
Well,
what
yeah.
makes
None
it
of
so
them are
great.
interested in you. All of them want to bang like Hannah Solo.
Hannah Solo.
Oh, I'm
They're
into Hannah
all
Solo.
lesbians.
Well, and
None of them want to fuck you.
Right?
They're all lesbians.
I love
I
the
have such a
idea.
crush on Hannah Solo.
And who wouldn't have a crush
I'm
on
in.
Hannah Solo?
I always have a crush on lesbians. But like fucking
Luke Skywalker's name is just Leia Skywalker.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, you just switch those.
genius.
Just,
Yeah.
just switch them.
Just
Yeah,
Luke is-
just we don't talk. It's
Luke and Leia
just
just get
Leia.
switched.
Is
It's
still Luke and Leia, but-
Leia is still played by like an exact duplicate of Carrie Fisher, except now the whole movie is about her. Like this is what I would do, and it
So
would
good.
piss off so many people.
Well, I would love to see the military briefings where Mon Mothma is a guy and everyone else is women, and Mon Mothma is just some fucking bumbling doof who's like, well, you see, it's got this one weakness, and all we gotta do is shoot it. And they're like, it's a fucking suicide run, you fucking dickhole. He's like, well, I'm the boss.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Oh, I dig it.
That's mine. And then the other one, I was trying to think of a way to piss off the Lord of the Rings fandom.
Right.
But I feel like it's too weird and complicated of a fandom. So the only thing I could think of was to say that the Hobbit movies are hands down better than the Lord of the Rings movies. No contest.
Just
The Lord of the
declare
Rings
that.
movies suck. Just declare it. And with
Yeah.
like this really long internet diatribe.
I mean, you definitely piss people off.
You
that
would
way.
piss many people off, including myself. Like, I'd be bad at myself. It's
Well,
not true.
You could have like the Tolkien estate Okay, so you know how they do like like novelizations of movies?
Right.
So you do.
I have the novelization of Star Wars.
So you do a novelization of the Hobbit movies,
No!
and then you have the Tolkien estate say that is you have
That's
them
canon now?
declare that that's like the canon.
Yeah, it's written by Christopher
Oh, the
Tolkien,
humanity.
posthumously published by Christopher Tolkien out of scraps of his father's work.
Well, no, you just get some hack author who novelizes the movies.
Yeah.
You know,
Totally.
because like back in the day, and maybe even still, you can get novelizations of like so many movies.
Oh yeah, I mean they still do it to some extent, I believe. Like you
I
can
think
get,
so.
You can get novelizations at Safeway in the book section.
Yeah.
You know?
Insist that in Lord of the Rings the elves speak with southern accents. And refuse to accept any other way of
Well, I do
speaking.
declare, Mr. Frodo.
Yeah, exactly. But like, imagine trying to speak Elvish with like a southern
like
accent.
actual
they only
Elvish?
speak with southern accents, always, constantly, all the time. Like,
I'm
only
also here
deep Georgia,
Yeah,
like fucking
so into it.
hillbilly southern accents.
But they look the same.
But they look the same. Everything's the same.
They're like
Only
delicate,
with, like, delicate
and light,
little flowers.
man.
just like
Regal, long
I don't
flowing
know
I can't even do an
if
example.
this is
I was
the
gonna try, I
episode
can't do
that
it.
gets us killed, but
Everything's
it
the
could be.
same except the elves only speak in like, you know.
well, this is why I love
Rural
this question is
Southern.
because we all are here for this stuff because like none of us are so fucking ingrained into something
No.
that's like
And I love seeing new, fresh takes. You know, like
me too, right? And
like the gender bending on Adventure Time is fucking amazing. You know, like I would love to see that with Star
yeah,
Wars.
totally. And I mean, I love just fucking with stuff like if you do an injustice to something, like I hate it, you know. So like,
Sure.
you know, like the Man of Steel movie.
Oh, Christ.
Like I hated just because it's like, well, you're not doing anything interesting with Superman, and you're just making it stupid.
Yeah.
So you know that sucks. But also, I'm not the kind of person like these fandom people who like declare these really outrageous things of like,
Canon is law.
you raped my childhood and
Right.
stuff, you know? It's like, you're ruining my childhood by...
Yeah.
It's like, fuck
mean,
you,
dude,
just don't watch it.
Yeah, I don't like the Transformers movies, but they didn't delegitimize the fucking cartoons from when I was a kid, even though those were really just commercials for fucking toys anyway. You know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I mean, I don't like Man of Steel, didn't even watch any of the other, like, Snyder DC movies. Doesn't discount my love of the old Superman books that I like and the old Batman books
dude.
that I like. It doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
Like, I like what I like, and just because someone makes a thing that sucks or that I don't like doesn't delegitimize what I do like.
Yeah, I mean, like, I haven't seen Suicide Squad, but everyone says that Jared Leto's fucking Joker is bullshit.
Yeah,
That doesn't make the Joker any less cool, in my opinion, you know?
for sure. Yeah,
Joker's
totally.
fucking awesome.
Yeah, fandoms are weird. People get so fucking like bent out of shape over like, well, it's got to
Right.
like stay to this thing. Yeah.
Well, and like, as far as like the ultimate fucking troll on a fandom, I feel like it's already been done, and it was literally the worst. And that was the people who were doing drive-bys of the Harry Potter lines and screaming Dumbledore dies.
That's just mean, though.
Oh, just spoiler.
You're true.
just
That's true.
Spoilering people.
Yeah, I've kind of been coming at this as
That's
like
the
a
worst.
satirical.
That
how
does
do you
piss me off. That pisses
Yeah.
off an entire family.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Absolutely.
saying. Like, it is
Spoiling the
pretty
ending.
much
Yeah.
the worst thing that anyone could have done to a fandom.
No, and that's pretty rude.
That's rude. I mean, I was coming at this as more of like a how do you piss off a fandom by like ironically and satirically making fun of how ridiculous it
Yes.
is to be in a fandom versus like how do you just piss off a large group of people who are
Right.
passionate about something by shitting all over them. But you are right, that did piss off an
Wait,
entire
hang on
fandom.
though. Was this for the movies or for the books?
This is for the book.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I was like, fucking. If
No,
you're
I
watching the
remember
movies,
this.
actually, I rescind that
There
because,
were-
like, if you're part of the fandom,
Oh.
you better already know.
Yeah,
the
fuck,
reason.
yeah.
There were people,
Everybody already knew for the fucking
there were
movies,
people
but-
who waited for like the midnight premiere, like
Yeah.
the midnight
Of the
release of the
book, yeah.
books.
That's
And
so
like
shitty.
there were people who skipped to the last chapter, read ahead, and then were doing drive-bys and yelling at the people
Yeah.
who were still waiting in line like
Oh, that's
Dumbledore dies.
gnarly, dude.
I
Fuck.
Yeah, that's so rude.
So, I mean, like,
I waited in line for the midnight release of the 7th book, and we were actually some of the first ones to get it, and then we ran across the street to the Applebee's. This was like at 1 a.m. because they had their porch light on and we could sit and read without people bothering us while we were waiting for our ride. And we had a car pull up and roll down their window, and we thought they were going to be dicks. So like, we kind of were getting ready to like plug our ears or whatever. And instead, like, this like lady about our age leaned out the window and she was like, "Did you guys skip to the end and read the last page?" And we were like, "No." And she's like, "Good for you," and then just like rolled up the window and drove off. Weird. And I was just like, okay, like, but I was getting ready for her to pull some like, you know, shitty nonsense,
like tell you what is on the last page. Yeah, like please don't.
No kidding.
I've even been relatively conscious of, because I mean, like, we like to go see a handful of movies on opening nights. You know, typically big fandom ones like some of the Marvel movies and Star Wars and stuff. And I've been. I've tried to be very conscious walking out of the movie as you're talking to your friends. It's like, there are people around you right now who are about to walk into this movie, so I don't want to just blurt something out too loud, you know? Like,
no, that's
just like walking out of fucking Force Awakens and being like, "Can't believe they killed Han," and like a bunch of people are like, "Cool, dude," like
fucking thanks.
Yeah, you know.
No, and so like, I also feel like episode fucking 8 was also just kind of a great way to piss off a fandom, like,
yeah, you know, for sure,
just in general. But like, if I'm gonna fucking put my stamp on something, because I feel like I have to, because that's the format here, what I would do to really fucking piss off a fandom is just make the Gungans like the real deal, and you find out that like fucking Snoke, like Palpatine was a Gungan in fucking disguise. Like,
no,
they're the puppet masters of the fucking galaxy.
No.
Which ones are the Gungans?
Jar Jar.
Oh my god, yes.
Fucking Jar Jar's a fucking Sith Lord, and like nobody knew it.
Weird racist parodies.
And so like for the rest of the movies, everybody's fucking talking like that. And
no,
Misa think you fucking stupid.
Dude, Kevin Smith had a whole run of podcasts where he was like all on board with Jar Jar becoming like a Sith Lord and like getting revenge, and just like he even had like a whole long thing where he wanted to make just a Jar Jar standalone called Misa Kills. Yeah, just like man, yeah. Oh,
yeah, I mean, they're the worst thing about the Star Wars universe, hands down.
Yeah, and I mean, midichlorians or whatever.
Well, okay,
was also kind of
we don't talk about midichlorians in this house.
I mean, first of all, right? We don't say the M word here.
Yeah. I mean, that was just fucking bad writing, but
yeah.
And so, of course, we would double down on midichlorians.
Yeah, no, and seeing like angering
pod
Star
racing
Wars
would be a thing for every movie.
Everything is midichlorians.
Yeah.
Ships run on midichlorians.
Angering Star Wars fans just almost feels too easy because it's already been done by the
so
creator.
easy.
It's
So
like,
true.
He already pissed off a fandom multiple times. So yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, my knee-jerk reaction was like, well, just tell everyone Dumbledore died, you know?
Yeah,
but, that literally already happened, so...
Yeah, no one can piss off the Harry Potter fandom more than J.K. Rowling already has, too. So,
That's
like,
also
true.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that Harry
just
Potter,
like-
just J.K. Rowling tweets anything.
Yeah. Like, you can't really fuck with Harry Potter any more than they've already been fucked with. Star Trek is like... You can't really shit on Star Trek only because it's so technical. Like, I don't have time to be like, the Enterprise does it, or I don't know.
I'm trying to think about, like, flipping sexual orientations or genders, and like,
Star
none of that
Trek
really
doesn't
works
care.
because they're already there,
Yeah,
like,
Star Trek doesn't care.
they're
they had the
inclusive.
first interracial kiss on television. Fuck you. Like, they don't give a
damn
shit.
straight. And
Like,
that's one of the things
so,
I
like,
love about
it's
that.
harder to fuck with Star Trek other than just, like, making fun of them for being a bunch of nerds, which, like, we all already know. So, like...
Yeah, and I mean, so many fandoms are lazy to, like, you could, gender swap or whatever, and a bunch of Star Trek people would get, like, bent out of shape. Because you'd even think that, like, Doctor Who fans are kind of, like, in this cool, like, niche, intelligent community, and then it was like, Lady Doctor Who?
Yeah.
No!
Yeah, that's true.
Same thing with Lady Spider-Man, like, no one could handle that, you know? It's like... Thankfully,
Even
thankfully-
fandoms that aren't deep. Lady Ghostbusters, it's like there are 2 movies and one like pretty shitty cartoon that lasted 2 seasons. Like
No
this
shit.
is not a
the
deep
moral
fandom.
of this discussion is that to piss off any fandom, you just make more women.
It's so I know.
Okay, yeah,
In the fandom.
I'll put my stamp on that.
And also, like, more people of color and, like, interest, like, people who aren't.
And that's the easy route,
Yeah,
right?
easy route
Yeah.
is, like, throw more ladies in there. You haven't said anything
'Cause-
yet.
'cause,
Who would
yeah.
you piss off?
Sorry.
Oh, I mean,
yeah,
you guys
I'm just
didn't
going
have
off.
to,
Sorry, yeah.
Like, stop in the middle of your thought.
No.
Jump to me.
But so many fandoms are just like basement dwelling white dudes, and so it's just like,
Yeah. I mean-
it's not hard to just sort of anger them by,
Disrupting
threatening
the status quo.
their gender or exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Suggesting that the boob window on Wonder Girl is somehow non-representative of what women would wear,
Yeah.
right.
Make a My Little Pony episode that's, like, adults only. And then have it just be the My Little Ponies talking about how gross bronies are.
I love it.
I'm for it. They should do that.
Yeah.
They should absolutely do that.
Also, little known brony fact. You guys seen the first season of True Detective?
I haven't.
I mean, yeah, or like I've watched half of it.
Well, anyway, the guy Remy French last name is a meth cook and also probably hurts people. Definitely hurts people. In one scene, he's walking around wearing nothing but a gas mask and a towel that's super faded. And some internet sleuths got on that shit, found out it was a fucking My Little Pony towel. So Remy Ledoux is a brony.
Well,
Hell yeah.
There you go.
Good
Yep.
on him.
Fandom ruined.
Yep.
The True Detective verse.
We did it here today.
Yeah, what do you think, Ricky? What are you gonna ruin for people?
So yeah, it took me a minute to come up with like the best way that isn't just like the normal shit.
Right.
I was gonna talk about cat groups that I was in on Facebook, but I didn't know if cats count as a fandom. But you can piss off fucking cat people.
It is.
Well, I would
Very
suggest that
easily.
it is one of the
think
biggest
it should
It is a
count.
fan.
But I actually came up with like more of an actual fandom than cat groups, even though they're dear to me, and I love watching all the fucking just like dumpster fires that happen in them because it's amazing and adorable, and like there's cats involved. I don't know, it's great.
Internet groups tend to be dumpster fires.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah.
No, it's fun. But that was kind of like low hanging fruit because it's like, well, you can say a lot of different things to a lot of different Facebook
Yeah.
groups and just like piss everyone off. But what I really think would piss off the fandom of specifically The Good Place would be is if they were to fucking drop Ted Danson at any point.
Oh my god!
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah,
It wouldn't-
I might
so-
stop watching, and I love The Good Place.
It wouldn't be as devastating as Michael leaving the office, but it would
Yeah.
be.
Which was
Only
pretty
because
rough.
Michael
I don't
wasn't
know,
on there as
but-
long. But
yeah.
Ted Danson's more charming than
It's,
Michael.
it's
Danson.
another Michael leaving another Michael Schur show, and I'm not on board with it.
Sure, but I'm saying Ted Danson, I don't know if you've been like following like
He's
just
amazing. He's a
what
beautiful
his
unicorn
internet
creature.
presence, but he's like a national treasure. People are
Yeah.
absolutely batshit over
100%.
Ted Danson.
Oh yeah.
He got arrested
like,
at the Capitol last
I
week.
really think
He
like
did. With Jane
everyone,
Fonda.
yeah, it was
And his
beautiful.
picture is just iconic. It's
Yeah.
so good.
Did you guys see episode 2 of Rick and Morty from this season?
No, we
No,
haven't
no.
watched anything yet.
Then I won't ruin anything for
You
you,
shouldn't
but
for the listeners either.
there is a very, very small Ted Danson reference in it, and
Nice.
I think that you will enjoy
All right.
it.
Beautiful.
Sick.
But yeah, that's how I'd piss off the entire fandom.
Yeah.
It's just
that
like
would do it.
Like, for whatever reason, it could even be, like, you know, like, he doesn't do anything wrong. It's just like, oh, for, like, contractual reasons or whatever,
Right.
he's going to do this super
He has
cool
another
thing.
project, yeah.
But, like, we're
Rock
dropping
Fall,
him
Ted
off
Danson
of this.
dies in the show. Yeah.
Right.
It would be a complete meltdown.
Yeah.
Right.
It's my favorite
So that's my pick.
Deus Ex Machina is Rock's Fall.
Rocks fall, everyone dies.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that makes me think of one other way I could fuck with a fandom. All right, you remember the Jason versus Freddy movie?
Oh yeah.
And it was this like long drawn out thing, and then at the end it wasn't really clear who won. But you make Jason versus Freddy, or Predator versus Alien, or Terminator versus whatever, you know?
Sure.
You do one of those, but in the first 10 minutes, like, one clearly just wins. And so it's like the line is drawn, like, right away.
The rest of the movie's just a slaughter.
Yeah. Or it's
I
like,
love
yeah,
it.
you do Freddy versus Jason, and then it's just like, in the first 10 minutes, Jason gets into the dream world, cuts Freddy's head off, Freddy's out of the rest of the movie. And all these people are just like, fuck that.
Like, can we even call it Freddy vs. Jason anymore?
I love it. Oh, it's great.
Yeah. So you do something versus something, but just like, something clearly wins right away.
Yeah, right.
So good.
Yeah.
So just like one last little fucking bonus round. I just thought of this. What if you made WWE strictly Greco-Roman wrestling?
Yeah, dude.
Everything is legit wrestling.
So, legit wrestling, no costumes,
Yep.
just loincloths.
Yep, just singlets, you know,
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
headgear and like
Oh, those fans would hate that. It's like the opposite of what they're there for,
right?
almost.
And like the way that you launch it is just like flat out admit in fucking full color, like everything up to this point has been completely fake. It's been all just like athletes, actors playing these roles. Like we knew it was all scripted. We knew who was going to win
totally
every fight.
admits it, yeah.
Yeah, and like now we're just going to have real wrestlers trying to wrestle.
That's so funny, because...
But still call it WWE.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is fucking hilarious, because real wrestling, like high school, college wrestling,
Right.
is some of the most, like, homoerotic
Oh my
shit
God,
you'll ever
yes.
see, dude.
It's Greco-Roman, yeah.
right.
Fantastical,
Oh, yeah.
dude.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just dudes in tight little fucking outfits, like, clutching each other and grunting a bunch,
Yeah,
man.
dude.
There aren't fancy moves. It's a lot of just, like,
Yeah.
holding positions and grunting,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. It's all like holds and locks and
Yeah.
like there's no fucking off the top rope
Which is even
bullshit.
kind of amazing when you consider the fact that they took that and spun it into WWE, which, you know, appealed to so
Yeah.
many people who aren't down with homosexuality. Like, you know?
But
Ironically
also
enough,
want to watch a soap opera, but they think
Yeah.
soap operas
Yeah.
are too fucking girly.
right.
Dude,
They
right?
want to watch a soap opera about jacked, greasy dudes.
Right. But, like, no fucking homo. Like, oh my god, look.
Well, you know, and like, yeah, and Vince McMahon like figured out how to put like big titted chicks into it somehow.
Yeah.
Still,
Right.
so like you got that, but holy shit, yeah, that's amazing. I love that. Fuck, let's ruin the fuck out of that fandom.
Hell yeah.
Dude, just Greasy Dudes International.
GDI.
GDI,
Oh,
yeah, dude.
GDI.
Oh god.
But I can still see Vince McMahon just, you know, wearing like a Claudius outfit, you know,
Right?
fucking,
Right?
just like overseeing the whole thing.
Thumbs
Or
up
like-
or thumbs
Yeah,
down.
exactly.
like if this had happened in the 80s, it's like, all right, Ultimate Warrior, like you don't have to stop your coke habit or like spouting nonsense into the camera.
Sure.
But now you actually have to wrestle, and he's like up there in his singlet with his headgear, just like, we're gonna call on the spirits.
Yeah, I actually honestly like the idea of keeping everything the same except for the actual wrestling.
Right.
Yeah.
Like all the theatrics,
Yeah.
like
Some of those costumes you do not actually wrestle in, though.
yeah, yeah,
At all.
yeah.
Oh my god. The Legion of Doom with the fucking spiked fucking football pads.
Yeah.
I thought
That
that
is
was the
not
coolest
regulation
shit
at that
ever. And then
point.
like I saw them wrestling and I'm like, what, they take those off first?
Yeah.
Lame. I thought this was some Mad Max shit. Fucking
See a
one-man
fucking
enters.
hand get impaled? Like,
Dude,
yeah!
this is gonna be awesome. Fucking
Right?
Blood Bowl, let's do this.
I mean, that's the appeal of that stuff, right? Is like there's a chance someone gets hurt.
Well,
you know?
and like that's
Theoretically.
kind
Is
of
that, like, really the appeal to
Well, that's the
WWE,
appeal to
though?
look and
but that's kind of what happened between like the 90s and the end of the aughts is like, you know, chairs and fire and tables and fucking cage matches started becoming real things, and it's like
right.
people started going to the hospital and like
Well,
getting legit hurt.
And
you
actually,
know?
those dudes really did get fucked up.
oh yeah, like watch The Wrestler if you don't fucking know about this.
Exactly,
shit.
right? And I was listening to a pod recently, and I'll find it and maybe put it in the show notes. But it was like stories of some of these guys because like they would just work on. They were like contractors,
Right.
so they got no benefits
Exactly.
from
They're not
working for the
employees.
WWE, right?
Yeah. They got 1099s or whatever. Or,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they would just sign these contracts, and like even though it's fake, it's still physically rigorous.
Oh,
like
no
you're
shit.
still throwing your body around. You're still like doing stunts. You're effectively a stunt person
Right.
that has no fucking like protections. Like at least Hollywood has all sorts of like protections for actors and performers and stuff.
Right.
WWE has none of that, man.
Yeah, and like I imagine there was some fake blood, but dude, a bunch of those injuries are just fucking real.
Some of
you
them
know?
are, right.
And like some of the stuff that they talk about in The Wrestler, like hiding razor blades on your fucking costume so that you can cut yourself and like
Holy shit.
Yep.
make it look more fucking gnarly. Like that shit actually happened. you know?
Right, and you're also taking head blows, and so
Oh yeah, the
and
concussions
so-
thing is just absolutely egregious.
Yeah, and I mean that's just happening, and so a lot of these guys, you're not getting rocked like a UFC fighter, but you're
Sure.
still getting rocked and knocked around and injured, and you have no insurance and no fucking coverage and no protection at all,
And probably kind of shitty pay
and
too.
it wasn't good pay. Like the more famous you were, the better contract you could sign, but it was year-to-year contracts.
Yeah.
And if you weren't famous,
Yeah.
they'd just drop you.
Fucking A.
They just drop you, and like then you have no career.
And like they decided your storyline, so like one year you could be like the equivalent of Hulk Hogan,
Yep.
and the next year you're just some fucking heel that they're like
Yep.
tossing into every match that they want you to throw. You know, it's
Yep.
like you're no longer the hero; you're just the guy that they throw into the bus to make the next guy the hero.
Yep. But you still sign that contract because you don't have better work, and
Yep.
yeah, it's fucking crazy.
And
dude.
like endorsements are real thin on the ground. You know, like
Yep, for sure.
it's a shit
Yeah, it's
show.
fucking crazy, man. Way to take it serious there. Like, no, but it's worth talking about because that is a fandom I would love to.
Classic
fuck
Matt
with.
is like, I just have a small aside, and then 30 minutes later,
Yeah, right. Yeah. One more thing, Dad. Okay.
we're on to some deep shit about concussions and
Yeah.
like inevitable inequity between the classes,
right. Oh my god.
between the wrestlers and the owners who own the wrestlers.
We still haven't figured out how to start a cult yet this episode.
This is
though,
still
so.
Sparta.
We're working on it.
Yeah, we've got two more
You know,
questions.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
We are all Spartacus.
I love just like instead of this is Sparta, you're just like this is still Sparta.
Still it is. Still Sparta.
Hello, this is still Sparta.
Last time I checked, this was still Sparta. So where the fuck are you coming from? Athens? I could smell it on you. This is still Sparta.
Okay, get out of here with that shit.
Get the fuck out.
Take the L. Goodbye.
All right, so this next one's the wording's a little weird. So I don't know if it gets weird. Forgive me, but also forgive the Reddit user. I found this on Reddit. As always, I like to give a shout out to the user. So shout out to Coconut Gun 7.
Right on.
I just liked this one because it was just so fantastically weird. I don't know.
I'm in.
Okay, so you find out that an anti-burglar exists, and they keep raiding your house. The anti-burglar is dressed like a stereotypical burglar, ski mask, dark clothes, but instead of stealing stuff, they put random stuff into your house. They come every night and put something into your home. Sometimes it's something literally useless like a brick or a clock with no hands or a Christmas ornament with a picture of a peanut on it. Other times it's things that can actually be useful someday but still kind of weird, like $3.29 exactly in coins, a box full of AAA batteries, or a microwave with the number 7 being smudged. This anti-burglar never actually breaks or steals anything. They only come at night, and if you ever try and directly confront them, they throw a bag of confetti and run away at absurdly high speeds. What do you do? How do you handle this?
Well, I mean, like, I'm already this person. Like, I will just go to a free box and be like, oh, all these books I will never read. Let's bring this home and have it be an albatross around my neck.
Fucking I do.
You're wandering to your house in dark clothing in the middle of the night with all of these things that you don't want, but you're bringing them in your own house.
It's literally what I did when I was working as a waiter.
I literally didn't consider this when I found this question earlier, but your story of walking home from the bar that one night and you like wandered into some abandoned house and grabbed some urn.
This belongs in a museum.
Yeah. Wait, maybe you should tell the short version of that story.
Well, I mean, I was here. Obviously.
Was it here?
Yeah. Well, I got really drunk here, and then
Exactly here or in Portland?
I
Here.
felt like we were at a bar.
Okay, maybe we were at the Lion's Eye or something like that.
Something like
We
that.
were here at some point, probably.
No, you're right. We were at N-Dubs.
Okay.
And we all got really drunk. Maybe we were somewhere else, because it seems like it was later at night. But anyway, the fact of the matter is that I decided to walk home. Which is like, what, like 40 blocks from here?
Yeah, and I mean, assume
Maybe
it's N-Dubs,
30 from
it's
N-Dubs?
even less, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, like, not the longest walk in the world, but significant, you know,
Yeah,
like
30 minutes.
Yeah, ordinarily I would take a lift or a bus, but I was drunk enough that I was like, fuck it, let's do it.
Walking.
And, found a couple of places that were under construction, availed myself of their spaces to examine them. Because my dad's a contractor and I grew up around houses under construction, so I wanted to, like, criticize all the mistakes that they were making. And there were plenty.
And there were numerous.
So, you know, like, I at least one, if not two houses under construction that I'd already strolled through. And then I found this one that was an old house that had been demoed on the inside and they were going to remodel it. But it was, like, all stucco and brick, so like all this shit was just smashed out, you know, and I'm just like, whoa, this is weird, you know, just like cruising around through this gutted old house, and I finally get down into the basement, and there's a Grecian urn down there. It's got the bottom smashed out of it. It looks super old. And I'm like, who the fuck left this down here? This belongs in a museum.
You thought you found some artifact?
Yeah.
Some ancient treasure?
Oh yeah. And I hauled that shit home. Like, you know, fucking 14, 20 blocks, whatever it was, from that place to my house. And, like, deposited it in my living room, like, promptly blacked out on the couch. Eventually, like, dragged myself into my fucking bedroom by my eyelids and fucking passed out properly. Completely forgot about all of this shit. Until I fucking stagger into my living room just praying for a bong hit. And there's this fucking Grecian urn filled with spider webs, some of which still have spiders in them. And I'm like, what in the actual fuck? Oh, Jesus Christ. Right, I had this whole fucking journey. And I'm like, well, okay, I mean, apparently this belongs in a museum. Let's check it out. Looks like it's been screen printed with some Grecian designs. Oh, yes, look, it even says made in Greece. Well, it wasn't wrong, apart from the whole this belongs in a museum part.
Yeah.
Cool, so I brought some trash home from a construction site.
A spider nest, if you
yes,
will.
and I believe that some of those spiders took roost in my house, so hopefully none of them are from strange places that will give me diseases.
And apparently, if a Matt from another dimension would have walked out of your room and seen you putting that fucking vase on the table at the first place, you would have found yourself with a pocket full of confetti,
Yep.
would have thrown said confetti, and
Yep.
then ran away at absurdly high speeds.
Yep. Either that or
And you
would've-
didn't even know. You didn't even know you
Yep.
were the anti-burglar.
Right?
Right. Yeah, you were your own anti-burglar that night.
I think I have always been my own anti-burglar.
Yeah. Which is kind of why I like this question.
Been the anti-burglar. if I may be so bold.
Yes.
So you heard it here? I am the anti-burglar.
Yeah. What?
I used to leave cans of Spam in people's cupboards. I'm not even kidding. Like,
Is that the
As a joke.
anti-hamburglar?
Up top on that one.
You either die the hero or live long enough to see yourself become the anti-burglar.
So I feel like I would end up eventually just accepting this supernatural being as part of my life now. Like, I feel like I'm so, like... I feel like I just don't know what else I would do. I'd literally be like, I'm not going to lay, like, some elaborate mousetrap for the
Well, I know what you would do. You just put all their stuff in your car.
I got a new car, and I'm trying really hard not to fill it with shit this time. I'm doing a pretty good job.
The anti-burglar's just taking shit out of your car and putting it in your house.
Well, then they're really doing you a service.
I would just accept it and roll with the flow. However, my Matt would lose his absolute fucking shit. He hates when I bring home unnecessary shit, and the fact that some unknown entity brings useless crap that he doesn't need or want into our home would just absolutely drive him up a wall.
Would
Yeah.
you confront him? Because there's nothing saying
super.
you couldn't confront the anti-burglar just as you would a regular burglar.
Well, but it
and
says
be
that
like,
every
hey.
time you do, they just rip Taylor out of there. They
that's
just like
right.
toss
Yeah.
confetti
But
and
he'd
like.
certainly try, probably, right?
Oh, hands
And
down.
then he'd be like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah,
Yep.
hands down, and then he'd be even more pissed that all the confetti is now on our floor, and he has to vacuum
Oh.
it up. This would be just
Oh,
a
yeah.
never, and this would be
Ryan's trying
existential,
to eat it. It's going to be like a
Well,
whole
and,
shit show.
and like the next day, homie would be going into
existential
fucking.
torture for my Matt.
Oh yeah, he'd be
Yeah.
going into Fry's, getting all the fucking webcams,
Oh,
and
yeah.
all the motion detectors.
Definitely a Matt
Yeah.
thing, for sure.
I would just be like, babe, he's just left us this full case of batteries and this
Yeah.
brick. What are you gonna do?
There's also a box full of He-Men who are all missing one arm, but like,
Yeah.
you know, it's fine.
So I share Matt's feeling on that because I'm like an
Or
anti. I'm sorry. I share your Matt's feeling on that because
Yeah.
I am an anti-clutter person. Like when clutter starts to
You
build up.
wouldn't see it by looking at our house, but
Yeah,
I wasn't
for
gonna
real.
say anything.
that's all
Both of
me.
us are really glad that you said that.
Yeah.
He married into it. What can you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's two people who live in this house. I'm not trying to throw anyone under a bus or anything, but yeah,
Ricky.
but boy, yeah, at a certain point, clutter just starts to
No, I'm
give me
definitely
a ton of anxiety.
I'm definitely the clutter person in our house too. So like Ricky, you and me, clutter sisters forever, trash
Like-
people for life.
I mean,
I'm definitely the person that sees something shiny on the side of the road and I'm like, well,
Who
I'm
else?
not gonna
What if
pick
I'm
that
gonna
up.
pay? Yeah,
That's a good marble
it's a
right
good
there on
marble.
the fucking sidewalk. Like,
yeah, I've managed to rein myself in on interesting rocks.
I'm basically
but,
a
like,
human crow. I mean, at the end
Yeah,
of the day.
me
Yeah,
too.
I gave all my
Bad.
interesting rocks to Ricky because Matt wouldn't let me keep them.
Don't worry, I got you, girl. I got you.
I still have a box of them from
Yeah,
when I was younger that I don't know what I'm doing with.
yeah.
Keep
yeah.
them forever because you can't imagine the turmoil of throwing them away.
I
I
would
haven't even
probably-
looked at them in 10 years. Like, what am I doing
Yeah,
with this
but what are
box
you
of
gonna
rocks?
do? You're never gonna forget the day that you dump them into like the garden or the garbage. I guess I was gonna say garbage, and then garden
My
actually
garbage
seems
garden?
like a really good idea. So I switched.
I would
I like
definitely at some point stop being alarmed and start being like excited about the gift that the anti-burglar was gonna leave
Well,
me.
right, and so this is
That
what I
would
was
be
gonna.
my deal.
This is what I was
waiting
gonna
to see
say.
what Santa brought, you know.
As much as I dislike clutter just showing up in my house, the fact that occasionally it's useful and it's always random, like
So-
it's pretty exciting, man. It's just like, all right, every
Yeah.
week it's like, what did the fucking
Do you guys know
Okay.
about...
what
go
did they
ahead.
bring me?
So this is actually a good segue into how I would feel about this situation, because I don't know. I don't have this backstory on what an anti-burglar is at this point. I
Yeah.
maybe don't even know the first few times I find random shit in my house and I'm like writing it off for XYZ reasons. But then maybe I do finally catch them. I mean, if they're not breaking windows, if they're actually just breaking in,
They're just
in a
some
way that I don't
supernatural
know.
being who like
Oh, that's
phases
even a good
into
point.
your
Because if they're not
house.
breaking windows, like, I might not know at first. Maybe I finally see them doing it. And maybe I do, like, come at them with something at some point and they confetti and they run off.
I mean, we
But-
currently have a pair of gloves that we don't know who it belongs to.
Dude,
So like, how
I'm just
long?
saying-
How long before?
No, okay, sure. That's also a consideration because we might not know right away. But if I started noticing a pattern and noticing these things showing up, I feel like I'd go full fucking Charlie Day Pepe Sylvia on it. I really think I would overanalyze every single thing that
Oh,
showed
like
up.
each item matters, and you start like
Yeah,
building
well,
a
and
narrative.
it's like, why is it showing up, and like, why these items?
Yeah.
I definitely start trying
You'd
to
have
like
your
connect the dots.
conspiracy yarn wall.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely! I think I'd put it over here, probably.
All the art, we'd come
We
in
have
one day and
string
all
in
the
the
art's been
fucking
taken
drawer,
off your
I'm
walls
ready.
and
Right.
it's been replaced with like blurry like Polaroid photographs of all the objects that have been left in your house.
Yeah,
Right,
and-
and they're all like in
clip-outs
a
of
pile
news
with
articles.
fucking like.
Yeah.
Dude, I wanted to be a private investigator when I was a kid, so they'd definitely all be like lined out with numbers and fucking fact sheets.
Yeah.
Like I would go full on about it.
Sticky
Fuck
notes
yeah.
everywhere.
So that might be like the downfall of Ricky Midnight, maybe because like, how likely do you think it would be that I come to the conclusion that I like sit you all down and I'm like, so I think it's an anti-burglar. No, hear me out. Like,
Ricky, are you sure you're not just sleepwalking to the
yeah,
convenience store?
no,
and,
but like, look.
And that's why
Oh
I
my
love this
God.
question, is because it's such an absurd concept.
Right.
Like, I've never considered
no,
an
here's the thing, though.
anti-burglar.
Are you guys familiar with the fucking like low rent Prince robot lookalike who was like leaving CRT TVs on people's porches?
Dude,
Yeah,
yes!
totally.
But like standing there and then like setting it down and like
Yeah.
staying there again and then like taking off. Oh
Like,
no,
they-
that's some beautiful
Yeah.
performance art.
Like
Is
they all,
what
Yeah.
it
the
is.
TVs all work. Like he's gifting working technology to people that no one wants. But
Yeah.
like,
Right. No,
Oh,
and,
no,
that,
it was
and
a
that's kind of what I
beautiful
chalked it up to,
fucking-
was like some sort of Banksy style performance art
Definitely.
Right.
thing.
Because everyone has, well, especially Rootsy houses have Ring now, or some like
Yeah.
version of Ring, the
Yeah.
like doorbell cam.
yeah.
And they know that, yeah, if you see that, you're absolutely gonna send some blog that
Yeah.
video and be
Yeah.
like, make me internet
Yeah, this
famous.
thing is wild.
And then,
Right?
yeah, that happens. So, like,
It's fantastic.
it's
No.
insane that more people haven't made Ring doorbell cams, like, a form of media.
Right. Like that's
Snapchat
not,
or like whatever.
Well, I
Like, how many weird things can you do on people's Ring doorbell cams?
I mean, Russian dash cams are like a real, like, that's a thing I'll dive into and just watch
Sure.
it.
Yeah.
No,
It's
that's
mostly like
tight.
car accidents and stuff, but sometimes
I'm-
there's just weird shit that people capture.
But I'm
Big
just
time.
saying, like, so those are great for actually capturing the things that happen in the moment that you don't expect. I'm saying, as someone who wants to do a performance art thing, why hasn't it caught on that people go up to people's doorsteps
Yeah.
in the middle of the night? And even doing something quiet, like something
right.
that they don't
like,
catch until
like just flash
they
mobbing
get
the Last Supper, like just at the perfect focal point. you
Yeah,
know, like-
or whatever. Yeah, some sort of
yeah.
performance art that involves just like getting on someone's doorstep, doing something weird but non-invasive, like not something like technically you're trespassing, but you didn't do anything
Right.
other than briefly trespass.
Right.
So then it's like a beloved internet thing.
Doing-
Like, how has this not started yet? I'm calling it now, you
Yeah,
guys.
well, you heard
Like,
it here first. Internet flash mobs on people's fucking
Yeah.
Door cams.
door cams.
Yeah. Doorcamflashmobs.com. Registering
before it
currently.
was
Yep. We own this idea. You should come to us with anything that you want to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, you know, that works in a lot of places. I'm still concerned about stepping on people's properties late at night.
I'm
you know.
not saying that, like, I'm... In no way is this podcast actually condoning any of the acts.
Yeah, dude.
Hey Matt, would you grab me a claw?
I thought we
But I'm just surprised more people haven't done it yet.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it
for
sounds
sure.
fun, especially because you could absolutely easily fabricate it. Like, just go talk to, like, Aunt Lori, who lives in the fucking swank neighborhood and has one,
Yeah.
and she'll anonymously post it to some blog as,
yeah.
like, look what I found on my doorstep. Like,
Right.
you could do it without actually trespassing and make it look like you just flash mobbed something, you know?
You could cheat your viral.
You could absolutely cheat it. I mean, you might get under backlash later. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm not suggesting anyone break the law, but like people break the fucking law all
Dude,
the time like that.
maybe
like,
maybe the television person is Zardulu all along.
I love it.
Maybe. Just maybe.
Yeah. For people who don't catch that reference, go listen to the Zardulu episode of Reply All, because they posit that the Pizza Rat video was staged by someone who is trying to create chaos in our world.
Specifically through trained rats in New York.
Yep.
What's the Pizza Rat video?
The Pizza Rat video was this video that went viral of a average-sized rat, like an average rat, carrying a giant New York slice of pizza up the stairs of a subway.
Oh, okay.
And it's just, like, fascinating, because it's, like, this very small rat just, like, carrying this huge piece of pizza, and, you know, it's just, like, taking it back to, like, its nest or whatever to, like, you know, feed all its other rat buddies.
Yeah.
But there may be some contention about that video that it was staged, i.e., claimed by one person who goes by the name Zardulu and swears that they created that video. And people can't actually
also,
confirm or deny that.
Like, I don't know if anyone heard of Selfie Rat, but that actually was also claimed, and, like,
yes,
they, like, talk about how they planned out Selfie Rat, which was supposedly a guy that fell asleep on the subway, and a rat was on him and, like, unlocked his phone and took a picture of itself on him in this weird way. But they have, like, audio clips of being like, Selfie Rat is sweeping the nation, blah, blah, blah. Like, so
and
it
that
did
is,
get, like, rough, like,
I think
viral for a minute.
confirmed, like, faked.
Right. And it was, because that also was Zardulu. And, like, Duder talks about how they, like, planned it out and shit.
Yeah.
Huh.
And he's like, yeah, that's me in the video, because I, like, agreed to... Because I was broke and, like, agreed to do this thing with this person.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't necessarily surprise me. Rats are smart as hell.
Hell yeah.
They are.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it'd be easy to.
So easy.
Yeah, I won't tell the whole episode. Go listen to that episode of Reapply All. It's such a good podcast. This anti-burglar, though, oh man, it's so tough. I guess I just can't do anything. If you can't confront it, I guess I just, like...
It's a force of nature, right?
I'm just assuming he's a supernatural being.
Yeah.
If it can...
A natural speed's definitely...
Unnatural speeds.
Yeah.
He can just get into my house. He leaves seemingly manifested random objects from the fucking ether.
Takes nothing.
Takes nothing.
Do you just have a perpetual free box on your fucking...
He's like...
He's your Amazon delivery free box.
Fey creature.
Yeah.
He's some weird urban trash fey creature.
Right. What if you even made, like, one of those mini libraries on, like, the, like, edge of your street, but instead of a library, it was, like, weird item of the day, and just whatever he'd bring in your house, you'd put out there.
I would start to get, like, at some point, I think I would start to get really weird and pagan with this. I'd start to be like, we have to leave an offering for the anti-burglar.
I figured it out. I would start a fucking cult surrounding it.
Yes!
There it is.
1,000%! Because you could prove it. You could be like, look, I know something's going to happen.
Come and witness
Because
the
you can watch him.
anti-burglar
You know he looks like
in
a
my
burglar.
home.
And he comes in, he looks like a burglar. You know that. You can watch him do
It's a
it.
fucking supernatural entity that you can lay eyes on. Like,
Holy
I've already got
shit.
God beat.
Yeah,
Jesus.
exactly. You can't ignore that.
Oh my god. Well, I mean, you nailed it then. So I came to the realization that I think the thing that actually would drive me up the wall eventually is because the question does not specify where they leave the things.
Right.
Oh.
And so
it might
that
not
would
just
start
be on the
getting
kitchen
fucking
table every time.
infuriating,
Right, who
right?
left Lincoln Logs in my sock drawer?
Right, because, like,
Story of
you're not gonna
Jesus.
find stuff, and, like, maybe that is still exciting because you'll find stuff just in random places all the time.
Who left a Lego in my shoe, though? Like,
Right.
that's gonna suck.
Well, yeah, if it's impish, then, like, we're gonna have words, you know?
Right, yeah, but your words are gonna end in a fucking poof of confetti and a guy
Well,
taking off real quick.
Right, and
Like,
it does sound
This
like
is why
fucking
I'm
the
gonna
work
start
of an
writing
imp.
the Gospel of Matthew.
Yeah, right?
Or yeah, some fey folk. This sounds
Yep.
like some very fey
This
folk
is a fey
shit,
folk
dude.
shit,
Like,
yeah.
they are fucking with you. You're not gonna come out on the better end of this.
Oh,
No,
no.
you're not.
Start
You gotta
writing
start
some
baking them
scripture.
bread and leaving them shit and
Oh, this-
being like, take
yeah.
this with you, anti-gobbler.
This
Like,
cult is gonna be very,
anti-burglar.
like...
Write some
Anti-gobbler,
words to live by.
anti-gobbler.
Always check your shoes in the morning
Right.
because you might be blessed with a
Right.
A
gift
gift
in
from
your
the
shoes,
fey people.
and it might
Right.
be harsh on the toes.
Gosh, and considering it could be anything, like,
Right.
yeah, you might just
Is
find
it a
some
fucking
like
horse?
weird shit. Yeah, or is it a tarantula? Do you just go to like...
Oh, no! 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 Ah! This got so much worse. I thought it was just junk.
I feel like that flies in the face of the spirit of this thing, leaving random tarantulas in places. But
does it? Do we know?
It's in a
We don't
terrarium.
know.
I feel like it would
okay,
be.
in a
do you know
terrarium,
that?
sure.
I feel like it would be in a terrarium.
But just
There
like
is nothing specifying that a
a
terrarium is
tarantula in my
required.
shoe, like, no.
I'm
I mean,
giving
hey.
the anti-burglar the benefit of
Coconut Gun
Thank you.
7, chime in.
Please.
Tell us the nature
Inquiring
of the
minds want to
anti-burglar.
Yeah.
Obey the anti-burglar.
Be they benign or benevolent? Be they be benevolent or malicious?
they bring the
Anti-burglar.
objects of worship.
Yes. Exactly.
I'll join your cult, dude.
Sick.
I mean, every episode I'm joining your cult by the end.
Dude,
so-
we-
Honestly, if I were to join a cult, that's the type of cult, like the kind where I can watch it happening, and I'm
Right.
like, yeah, that's weird as fuck.
And man,
Yeah.
we
I'm
have
gonna at least listen to what you're saying.
like we have some great retreats and like weekend receptions.
Well,
I'm
and
just
like
saying.
that's your like ritual, right? Is like every day we wake up and we tear the house down to find like the present, right? Because if we don't know where it is, then that's like the thing we do every day.
Right.
It's like tear the house
Dude,
down.
because maybe
and
there's a fear of it stopping, and what happens if it stops, too.
You've lost
So it's
the
like, if
blessing
you
of the
can't
anti-burglar.
Oh, the
find
worst
the
things
thing,
happen.
that would be
Right.
terrible,
Well,
so
and
you have to find it.
the gospel is always about whatever they brought that day. So like if it's a bunch of dead AAA batteries, like that will
That
inform.
means something.
Yeah, it will inform the.
And you
the
get
preaching.
to determine what that means.
Clearly.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, once
that's cool.
yeah, and I mean, like
This Dutch wooden shoe, it represents the empty boat that we're all sailing through life on.
It represents the hole in my stomach where the burrito that I would really like
Yeah.
someone to fetch for me should go.
I mean, have we passed
Which
around the
disciple-
collection plate?
Yeah,
'Cause I
which-
feel like we
Which
need to do that.
disciple would like to fill the wooden shoe of my soul with a burrito today?
I love it.
I'm just saying,
Like,
you can
you're hired.
you got a
You're
lot
hired.
going for you. I'll definitely be.
this
here
copy
for-
of Goosebumps definitely means that all the women have to sleep with the head male of the congregation, which happens to be me. I don't know. Look, the anti-burglar
Whoa,
declares
this is
things. and,
exactly
like,
what's wrong with cults. That's what happens every time.
I was just
No
trying
reason
to.
to
It's real
fucking
simple
have to go
graph,
there.
you know.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like I'm not going all David Koresh on this one.
Yeah, look.
not yet.
I'm not on this one.
On the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, like when we do the Dionysian mystery cult, I mean, like it's just right for it. But
I love the idea of like just a world where it's like the .com boom, but it's just like tons of cult startups.
I don't know. This one didn't have legs. Like,
Yeah,
let's move on to the anti-burglar.
Yeah, we can't invest.
Look, I know I'm a prophet. I just like haven't decided how to profit off
Who I'm
of.
channeling from yet?
Yeah.
What am I profiting off of here?
Yeah.
Bubba, he's your man.
All right. As we like to do on this cast, we're going to read a Klosterman question. Chuck Klosterman, awesome author. Everyone should check him out. He put out a series of hypothetical questions called Hypotheticals. There's 50 of them. We've gotten through a handful. So I picked this one out. I imagine we'll do them all at some point, but I picked this one out. Okay. You were offered a strange job by a New York-based company. Every morning at 6 a.m., a car service will come to your home and drive you to JFK Airport. So you live in New York, and it's a 40-minute ride from your residence. You will then take an 8 a.m. business class flight to Los Angeles, arriving at roughly 11:30 a.m. You will be picked up at the airport, driven to a Burbank office where you'll hand-deliver 3 innocuous but unfaxable documents to the corporation's president. You will then be driven straight back to LAX, where you will immediately catch a return flight to New York. Another car will pick you up at the New York airport at 9 p.m. and return you to your home in New York City. This is what you do every day, 5 days a week. Wake up in New York, fly 5.5 hours to Los Angeles, then immediately fly 5.5 hours back. And you have to wear dress clothes, but your lunches can be expensed, and you would have no other responsibilities while flying. The pay would be a 10% increase from what you currently earn, but they would need a 3-year commitment. Would you take this job?
Duh.
Whoa.
Would you
All
take
I want
it?
to do is read and play video games.
Wait, can you define business class for those of us who don't know where that?
So it's
I
not.
First
fly
class.
coach. So what's
So business class is not.
It's not first class.
It's not first class.
Between coach and
It's basically you get more legroom, is what it is.
oh, so it's like the same non-amenities that coach is, but you're not crammed.
You're not crammed. I think,
So I don't care.
I think oftentimes business class or like, tutor row, you get a little bit wider seat, you get more legroom. But that's maybe
So
it.
as a
Maybe you get a
five-
comp drink
so
or
as
something.
a 5'2",
maybe
110-pound person, I don't give a fuck.
you
Yeah.
would not care.
Okay.
all I'm hearing is I get paid to read and watch movies. So
For
Right, but it's-
11 hours a day.
But
Yeah.
but they're long ass days, right? Because you get picked up at 6 a.m. and you would not get delivered home. Okay, so if you get dropped, a car picks you up at 9 p.m. at New York, so you don't get home until 9:40.
So from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., your day is claimed.
Yeah, totally.
It's a 16-hour day. I already work those days. And I don't make as much money as I would be making in this scenario. And I actually have to do real work that gets me sweaty and, has, hurt my fucking feet and all this
True,
other shit.
but you also get some lax days occasionally, right?
True. And not
Like-
every day is 16 hours.
Yeah, I mean, you don't work 16 hours 5 days a week. This is 16 hours 5 days a week that you're out
Yeah.
of commission.
But I can make calls from the plane. I can fucking get on their Wi-Fi.
Sleep, I guess. Because
Yeah.
are you gonna sleep when you get home?
Well, yeah, here's the other
Like, do
that's
you
the
sleep
idea.
8 hours as soon as you
make,
get home?
You could make your nights your free time and just sleep on the plane, man. That's 10 hours of flying time a day.
But you probably have to be super active then on the weekends, even though you don't want to be because you've been working all week. You have to be because you're so sedentary then. Even more so, like a 16-hour sedentary job.
You would need to work in some kind of a workout plan, but man, I don't know.
I'm already pretty sedentary.
Right
I don't know
now,
if I'm, that
this
critical of that.
this sounds like getting paid to do what I want, apart from the time when I have to hand someone papers.
Right. Yeah, you get off a plane, you go to a thing, you hand someone papers, you leave, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's the only kind of other thing you do other than being on a plane and going through an airport every day and
I'm sure I
doing
would
that
get
whole
sick
thing.
of it. It would eventually become a grind. But
Yeah, and so it's a 3-year commitment. You got to
but
sign
for
up
3 years, done.
So
yeah.
I have a
But for a mere
question.
10% increase,
I'm guessing that there will be annual raises that are commensurate with the cost
You're
of
signing
living.
a contract. Maybe not.
let's even say that you get raises.
Yeah, because
Or 10% of what you would be making for those 3 years at your current job. So if you got raises in those 3 years, then
because
I
any
think
job that doesn't
makes
give
sense.
you a raise that's at least 2% every year is giving you a pay cut every year. Because
Right.
that's the
I think that's
current rate of inflation.
That makes sense.
Right, totally.
So I have a really important question for myself, at least here.
Yeah.
Can I read these documents? Are they how confidential are they?
I don't know. He does not say, and there's nothing stopping you. So
My biggest question is so I'm literally getting paid 10% of my current wage isn't astronomical. I'm getting paid a pretty good amount of money for documents that are on paper, but they cannot be faxed for whatever reason.
right.
They're so
they're
important.
sensitive.
They cannot, but they also cannot be priority mailed. They can't be whatever that high class mail is that requires a signature. Where you mail really important
Yeah, I mean, I think
documents.
the idea.
You can't mail these documents in any form. You
I think the
literally
idea
have
is
to
that it's a no questions asked
briefcase
situation.
it there. So I guess I might lawyer up first and be if they are doing if I don't look at the documents but they are doing something weird, how culpable am I in what they're doing. If I don't know anything and all I'm doing is getting on a plane, handing some papers that someone gave me to someone else and going home and eating dinner with my husband and passing out, or I guess it's late, so probably not doing that. But
you're getting home just in time to pass out.
But if they get
for 8 hours of sleep,
if they get, if it turns out I'm delivering like fraudulent documents of some degree, am I responsible? Because if I am, it is not worth 10% more of my current pay to put myself in that line of fucking criminal activity. Like, no, you have to pay me so much more than that for that
I would say the ambiguous nature of the question leaves it as such. So you don't know. I'm not going to declare one way or another.
Well,
you don't know. Maybe.
Even if you're only making like 30, 40K a year, like...
I'm just saying, I would ask a lawyer if I didn't know what's going on.
Getting paid $33,000 or $44,000 a year to just like fly some papers to LA... You're damn right. Those are some sketchy fucking documents. Like,
right. I would just want to ask my lawyer, like, how, if I were to take this job, how would I need to conduct myself in a way that, like, I'm literally just a robot in flesh.
But paid by time, that's not a good wage. Even if you're making $44K a year, 16-hour days, 5 days a week.
You're not even making minimum wage anymore, right?
Yeah, that's not a good wage. That's trash.
Because that's double what you would work as an 8 hours, so you can cut whatever your hourly is in half, which is
but your job is
not
hard,
even
and you can
wage.
get other stuff done.
Right.
Which is why.
How much? Like, what other stuff?
Well, so I spend 10 hours
I
spend 10 hours a day on a plane, which means like I could do a ton of different things. Like I could start writing a novel. I could start building business plans. I could take online classes. I could do a lot of different things that,
Like, would you want to do all of that 16 hours a fucking day?
It's the only way I would want to take this job. Because I'm not working 16 hours a day, even if it's sitting on ass. Like, look, dude. I mean, I can go get a security job, which... at many places is just like sitting on ass for fucking 8 to 10 hours a day, and it pays decent, probably what this would pay, 30 to 40 a year.
Yeah, but you also got to watch a monitor and like fucking remain hyper vigilant.
You have to remain somewhat vigilant,
or at least partially vigilant.
It really depends. Depends.
Whereas when you're on the plane, you can fuck right off. You can do whatever
you
can
want. Sleep. You can work on your own projects. You can read. Yeah, you can play video games. You can do kind of whatever you want.
But you're not on a couch. You're in business class, so it's not like you can stretch out. You're fucking like in a goddamn chair for like 11 hours a day.
Yeah, it's not the best. It's not the best thing in the world.
I mean, fuck. No, you couldn't work out on a plane, but
nope, no, you cannot.
You could take extra bathroom breaks if you want to, like,
do some
high step your way up to the fucking.
Also, bathroom. And they do only say that you get your lunches paid for, so that doesn't count like your breakfast and dinner. Like, however you want to do
this,
that.
dude. No. Also, I love my job already, and I could get a 10% raise within a few years, especially like with merits and shit. I don't do this.
I hate to say it because Klosterman is usually so good at this shit, but this ended up being more about economy and poverty and class than anything else.
I mean, we could change the parameters. Like, let's say while you're on the clock, all your meals are paid for.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's kind of the I think that's kind of the spirit of
right. We can move goalposts around.
If you pitch this to someone who's like working for a startup and they make $100K a year, are they going to want to do this for 110? Like,
I think the question at large is would you want to take a job that basically requires no effort, no thinking, no commitment? Other than just like I have to be there, like
other than just 16 hours a day out of your life, 5 days a week,
but like it's not hard stuff.
Can you imagine? No, that's a good point though. Can you imagine if you were homeless and you took this job, like, let's say you even did have a job, so you got 10% off of, like, minimum wage. Let's even say that, like, you started not at, like, 10% above zero.
Let's just go ahead and
But,
say
like,
that, like, if you don't have a job, you make 10% above minimum.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, for sure.
And, like, yeah, if you're homeless, that means that 16 hours of your day, you have a place to be, a purpose, you have a cushy seat comparatively in a great environment.
Well,
and maybe for those 8 hours before you go back, maybe you're homeless.
Well,
and then you sleep on the plane, and I mean, it didn't say that you had to smell good on the plane. Maybe you don't still get to shower. Maybe you don't. I don't know. Maybe you try. Maybe you find places to do that. But, like, if you're homeless, maybe you take this deal just because it's actually, like, going to be really beneficial. Well, you're going to make money doing it.
I think you absolutely would. I think the question is sort of I think this question actually works for sort of the middle class
I was going to say,
like us.
Because we already admitted that, like, if you're making less than... Shit, probably... I haven't done the math, but, like, if you're making less than 50,000, maybe even, like, 70,000 a year...
Yeah.
This sucks balls because it's really... only good if you're working
because it's so much more time consuming.
Right.
Yeah.
But the question really is like, where do your priorities lie? Like, is time more important, or is just like a relaxing job more important? Because this job takes nothing. I mean, flying, mildly stressful, I guess. You're just spending a lot of your time per day doing a thing, but that thing isn't much, and you can get a lot of other work done.
I can imagine certain people really loving this.
Yeah, like, I actually, like, gravitate towards wanting to take this job because I just feel... Because, like, I don't love my job. It's fine, you know?
Right.
It takes care of me, and you know, and they do pretty right by me, but at the same time, I don't love it. And
the things you like to
job,
do, you could do on the off time doing this job.
This job would afford me the ability to, like, pursue other things.
I mean, shit, we could go Mythic on Arena.
Right.
Easy.
Exactly. That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking. It's you've wanted the time to be able to devote.
Yeah,
That's
I could
how
just
you do
play
it.
Magic 10 hours a day on a
Yeah,
plane.
you could actually do it.
Yeah,
You could
like...
go pro pretty easy with this fucking schedule.
Yeah, and like 6 more hours of my day is eaten up by like other nonsense, but 10 hours of my day is just playing Magic on a plane.
Yeah,
that
man.
seems alright.
Can we talk about the fact that, like, it's wild that business class now you can just, like, connect to Wi-Fi? Like, you can be
Right.
on the internet on a plane now where you used to have to, like, turn your whole goddamn
Yeah,
phone off.
see
and
that.
Hey,
everything
I've
shit.
been on planes where that wasn't limited to business class.
And interestingly enough,
Oh, certainly. I just meant, like, you're guaranteed business class in this scenario, and there's no way they call it business
right,
class and
right.
don't give you access to the internet.
No,
Because,
no,
like,
no.
you're on business.
but
It's, like,
interestingly
the
enough,
thing.
these questions came out 10 years ago.
Right.
So he probably wrote this question not considering that Wi-Fi is abundant on airplanes, because
Oh.
it
It's
just
like,
is
you
now.
fuckers are gonna have to read the whole time, or, like,
Like,
something.
you could still bring
Yeah.
a laptop and, like,
right.
write a novel,
Sure,
or, like...
That was my knee-jerk reaction, was just like, I get to read all the books?
Yeah, no, I mean,
Right.
that's not bad either, for
Yeah.
sure. It's just, like, you could do so many other things now.
But yeah, I mean, like, you could bring your fucking Switch and, like, all kinds
Sure,
of shit,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you
seem
think,
like
Shelby?
the
You
best
taking this
area.
job?
I don't think I'm taking the job.
Yeah.
To me, I think 16 hours is too long for me to not be home.
Yeah. See, yeah, 16
Even though
hours
it's not
is brutal.
Even though it's
Yeah.
not doing a hard job. Like, on one hand, yes, the idea of getting paid for my time to do whatever I want with my time for like 10 hours a day of those 6 hours is really nice. Like,
Yeah.
the idea that I could read or write or draw or whatever it is that I decided I wanted to do on the plane for 10 hours a day for 3 years.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, that's right. It is only 3 years.
it's 3 years.
So,
Right.
like,
That's a significant chunk of time.
it is.
And
But
it
it's
depends-
also not
80 hours a
forever,
week. You know, like, it's
Right.
Yeah.
it's a lot.
It's a
But you're
lot.
making a lot of money if it's 80 hours a week, too.
A 10% raise for me is also, like, it does, like, it pushes me over that, like, you know, 50-ish a year, like, mark. And so, like, it's getting into, like, the, like, cushy money a little bit, you
Yeah.
know? Like, but it's so much time away from people. Like, I feel like I'd be like so burnt out from just the energy. Like, one, airports are exhausting.
Yeah,
Yes.
they
Even
are.
if you're in them
not wrong.
all the time, even if you're used to the routine, like, even if you're like a seasoned traveler,
They take
airports
babies
are
on
not,
planes, you
Airports
guys? Like-
aren't
Yeah.
fun. You don't know
No,
who you're
and flying's
sitting
not
next
always
to.
fun.
Flying isn't fun. You don't know
Even
who you're
business
sitting
class.
next to. What
Fuck.
if your flight gets delayed?
Yeah.
What if you have to land in Chicago like everyone fucking always has to, because Chicago in the Midwest in the winter is a fucking shit show? Like, what
Yeah.
if you like your whole shit is so
Oh
easily
yeah, what
fucked
happens
up?
if your plane gets fucking delayed and
There's
you
this-
can't deliver the papers?
Yeah, like,
Do you
I
break
mean,
your
Ooh,
contract?
you
Are
don't
you
want to
done?
ask that question. you don't want to know.
like,
Anti-burglar. Fuck with you.
That's how you get the anti-burglar.
I just like, I really value my time.
Yeah.
And I don't want to spend so much of it at work, even if my job is easy.
No, and I think
Like-
that's the thrust of this question is like, is time versus ease of work better? Like, where do you fall on that graph?
Like, I have a job, my job right now, like, my boss has been at this location for 30 years. He's never worked at any other of our locations. It's his baby. He lives across the street. And it's like, he like never really goes home, and he hasn't for like 30 years.
Yeah.
And like, I made the decision when I took on this current position that I had that like, I'm not going to allow my job to eat my life. So I go home at 8.5 hours.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like, I won't do it. I will do a longer day occasionally if I have to, if something special is going on. And I'm sure this summer I'll do longer days because there's like extra shit going on in the summer. But like, I'm not, I made the conscious decision. I'm like, I love my job and it's great, but I'm like not going to let it eat my life.
I watched other
Don't take
managers
that shit
at the
home.
place that I
Yep.
worked in this company that, man, worked themselves so much
Yeah.
more than they should have for the
I'm
value that
not
other
going to let
people
it
value
eat my
them.
life. And like, this job is a life eater, just in terms of time.
It is. It's one of those funny things though, because they say like, you know, do what you love and you never work a day in your life.
God damn it.
And you know what I love? Sitting on ass, dude.
Same. But I was just thinking about this, and I would much rather do a job that's 20 hours a week and is really challenging.
Agreed.
Same.
No, I would so prefer that. In fact, like, I know that there are still like warehouse jobs where it's like you work 3/12s, but they pay you for 40. And it's like, yeah, those 3 days, like 3/12s,
Busting ass.
it's fucking rough,
Tired
dude.
as fuck.
Yeah, but then you get 4 days off every
Yeah.
single week. My
glorious.
God, that sounds so amazing.
Yeah, you can spend that first day just sitting on ass.
No, and first
recovering,
day
you
is
know?
recovering because
Yeah.
you've been fucking working your ass off for 3 straight days. So you spend that first day like watching TV
Yeah.
and eating mac and cheese and
So
shit.
like first day's a write off, but you still get 3 full days of like, shit, I'm doing great. Let's
Yeah.
fucking do stuff.
Right.
yeah,
you know?
yeah, we're back, baby.
Yeah.
yeah.
And like, I've joked with my Matt of like, oh, like, someday when you start making like crazy money, I'll just be like your housewife. But like, I'd be so fucking bored.
I
I'd
agree.
get bored. And I do have shit in my own personal projects I would like to work on. Like, I used
Sure.
to draw a lot more. I'm really out of practice and I don't really do it anymore. I used to read a lot more.
So
I'm not-
maybe a job like this would allow
it
you
would,
like
right.
that
but
stuff.
also I'd have to do like, I'd have to be committed to someone else's schedule while doing it still,
Right.
Like, I'd still have to be like, okay, this is my like couple hours chunk of time to do this, and this is my, I still have to get up. I'm gonna get home at like 11, and I have to get up again at 5:30 in the morning because the car is coming at 6, and like, it's just, it seems like you're spending a majority of your time on someone else's schedule still.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the whole purpose of like not wanting to work so hard.
Exactly,
Right?
right?
Like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
like not
think I'd end
wanting
up-
to work for someone who's not yourself. And so like, yeah, I don't think I would take the job. I would maybe take it for a 30-40% raise. You're gonna give me a 30-40% raise? Sure, for 3 years. I'll fucking sit on my ass on someone else's time for
I'd
30 or
also
40%.
do it for like maybe a a 6 or 9 month contract.
Same.
Yeah,
3 years is a long
Because
time.
like that, because it's like 6 or 9 months. Like I get paid basically the same, and then I can like work on a personal project.
Yes.
Sure.
Well, let's be real. Like, how much fucking actual work can you get done on a plane with
Also,
screaming
like,
babies?
Not a ton, but
I'd
5
probably
hour,
just
5
ambient
hour
the
chunks.
shit out of
Also,
that,
like,
and,
imagine trying to maintain, like, friendships or relationships.
God.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Like,
For
those
sure.
are going in the toilet for this period of time, right?
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
I was also just thinking, like,
Come back and rage on the weekend.
yeah.
that's true. But, like,
Oh yeah.
what's your resume gonna look like coming back from this? Like, so
Yeah.
I was building my career in XYZ, and then I had this 3-year period where I was
And then I worked for Mysterion Corp.
as like a
But, yeah.
career, I guess.
I was a book
for
reader /
3
courier.
years.
Yeah.
Personal
But now I'm
assistant.
trying to go back to presumably what you were
Yeah.
like if you had already established a career, going back to that, or like trying to like branch into
I
something
mean, like,
new,
I did establish an anti-burglar cult, but
like you probably can't put like
A little better.
but you probably can't put an address and phone number down on that application for Mysterio Core, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Well, you just gotta hope that the anti-burglar is going to come back once you're done on the plane. You know.
Yeah.
Dude,
He's been
maybe-
leaving you presents and you're not there.
Maybe the anti-burglar leaves
Shit,
me
your
some
basement
like
is going to be full of baby shoes.
Yep.
maybe I can fucking eBay some of that. I don't know.
But yeah, for a shorter contractual period and for a higher raise, I'd consider it. But like
Much more attractive.
Yeah.
it'd be much more attractive. But like 3 years and 10%, I'm like,
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of trash.
Yeah, I'm with it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm with that.
good question though.
Yeah, thanks, Glosserman. All right,
Yeah.
I'll wrap this up by doing the stuff I should have done at the top, which is reminding everyone that write in with your answers to these questions, because we'll read them.
Yes.
If you have questions that you want us to answer, send them in, and we might do that. Other than that, like, yeah, join us the next time we do this thing.
Yeah.
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 Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.